Friends, it's Jocelyn or Coco Paleo. I'm making a quick video today to show you how I am using bullet journals in my homeschooling to create portfolios. As you can see here, I've got 3 bullet journals. These are Dingbat's brand, and if you would like more information on why I chose this particular brand, you can check out my video on the ultimate pen and paper test for bullet journals. I gave my kids the opportunity to choose their own colors this year, and one of my children loves the color red, the other loves the color blue, and that's why we ended up with these 2 for their homeschool portfolios. And this is just my own personal journal. I liked the elephant. So before I go any further, I would like to say that this demonstration is not a how-to on the right way to create a homeschool portfolio. This is just what I have chosen to do. This isn't necessarily even what you need to do in order to be legal. I would recommend checking into the information for your local state requirements, but this can give you an idea on what some possibilities are. You'll see that the Dingbat's journal has a really nice cover. We see the brand name there. Each color has a different animal on the front. There's an elastic band that keeps it together. There's a nice elastic piece here for storing pens. For purposes of privacy, I'm not going to show you the inside of the front cover because that has my son's name and contact information on it, but there is a place there where you can record that. One of the only downsides of the Dingbat's journal is that there isn't a number on the bottom of the page. So, in my opinion, it's worth it to go through and number the pages. You'll see I've got them numbered up until about 50. It's worth it to go through and number the pages. The paper quality is so great. There's very little bleeding, very little ghosting from one page to the next. So this front page is where I keep my index. I've left a few pages for this. You can see here I have a calendar and attendance log, reading log, curriculum overview for the various subjects. Here is my calendar log. In the state of Pennsylvania, which you have to wait until July 1st to officially start schooling. However, I'm a working homeschool mom. I am a college professor during the year and a professional musician. So I school year-round with my kids. Even though we can't technically count these days legally, I considered these first 2 weeks to be a trial run. By the end of the year, I have significantly more than 180 days of instructional time, so I don't mind the fact that my first 10 days don't actually count. So I've gone through on each page and written out a calendar. My plan is to circle each day that we do school. This is something that our evaluator likes to see, just a log of how many days we attended school. Here I have my page for the reading log. This is the first book that my son is currently reading this year, and every time he chooses another book and reads another book, we will add it to the list. Here are some of the things we're doing for Bible. This is not an exhaustive list. In fact, I need to add to here that he's also reading through the Gospel of John right now. However, Scripture Memory Sword Grip is one of the Bible things that we are doing. It's a wonderful book put out by the Scripture Memory Fellowship, and I'll turn to one of the pages here. There are verses for each book of the Bible. We have 3 verses listed here. We recite them, we work on them, and we cut them out and put them on a keychain. There's also a phone app that goes with this, and on the opposite side of each of these pages you can find some wonderful study questions. In addition to this, my children are currently working through a book called Discipleship Jump Start. It's a great book written by Dr. Steve and Megan Scheidner. We met them at a recent homeschooling convention. Wonderful people, amazing testimony. Next we have history and geography. We're doing an American history course this year, America's Story. Here's the book, written by Angela Odell. I really like all the color pictures. It's very engaging for kids. And there is a companion book with activities, questions for discussion, timelines. And for geography, so far we've been having fun with the Orboot globe and app. You use your phone or your tablet to focus on different areas of the globe, and that helps you to learn about the maps, about the culture, about holidays, about food, about monuments. Really fun. Next we have science. We are using the exploration education curriculum this year. Here's the book. There's an excellent online companion program that goes with this, where the students go through lessons and they record in the logbook the answers to the questions. They also get to participate in a lot of hands-on activities. For example, my son built this electric racer car. I put the Brains On podcasts on that list, not because it's necessarily a strict curriculum, but because it is something that my son loves to listen to. There's a different topic for every podcast, and this is a supplementary thing that we do. For math, this one's pretty much self-explanatory. We're using teaching textbooks, Math 6. For language arts, we are using first language lessons. This is a partial list of what we'll be doing this year for physical education. This is just what we've done so far. Field trips. We've already done quite a lot of field trips this year. As you can see, we spent some time in South Carolina and visited a variety of places. I didn't leave enough space for it because the next page starts relatively soon. So I'll probably put an additional page for field trips or pages later on in my book. Music and fine arts. We have piano lessons. We have already visited several art museums. My husband and I are professional musicians, so concert attendance is something that happens quite frequently in our home. Fire safety. This is usually something we do through Cub Scouts and just general fire safety instruction. Civics. This is something that is required in the state of Pennsylvania. Cub Scout activities fall under that category. iCivics is a website, and there are apps that we can use for that as well. And we'll be reading God's World magazines. I'm sure there are other things that we can add to this list as the year goes on. I left this page here because there are always more things that come up and you think, I'm not sure what category to place that under. Well, we'll call it miscellaneous. Finally, we come to our first set of daily logs. Again, month of June doesn't count legally, but I decided to include it anyway. I'll put a title page for each month at the beginning of each. And this is just an example of some things that we do. So I use just a fine liner pen, and I've also been using one of these zebra mild liner pens to highlight each date and what day it is. Now remember, this is not something that the school district has to see in the state of Pennsylvania, but it's something that I choose to do. It helps me, being a working mom, to have a clear list of everything we did on each day. You can find these zebra mild liner pens at a lot of online retailers. Also, sometimes Target will carry them. What I like about them is that they work as highlighter pens, but the colors are more muted. They're not quite as bright or as harsh. So you can see I've highlighted June 19th, that was day 2. I've listed what we did specifically for Bible, for history, for math, for science. We went on a field trip that day and a nature walk. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you're not sure how to get started, there are a lot of options out there at office supply stores for schedules, planners, etc. I really like the flexibility of the bullet journal. It allows me to make it exactly what I want it to be, to include only the pages I really want and to make it look the way that I want it to look. I chose to keep this fairly minimalist, but I might, as the year goes on, allow my kids to add some stickers, draw some pictures, whatever makes them happy and makes them feel like this is really their own thing. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.